Today, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to go over our leadership tune-up. And the topic for this workshop is the car diagnostic. So just want to talk through a little bit about what the car means for me and why I feel like as a company, you need to consistently maintain your company car. So just a quick introduction. My name is Pam Fritz. I am the president of Savvy Resources. This is a HR consulting firm that focuses and really our expertise is around leadership development. So that is what we'll be talking about today. I am a wife and I have two little children. I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. And about a year ago, I made the decision to go out on my own and start an HR consulting company. I've worked for very large organizations such as Target. I was there for 10 years. And then I've worked for very small privately owned companies. Throughout my 20 years of working, I have seen the same 3 themes that just consistently time and time again pop up no matter which company I've worked for. And I really want to do something about it. Not only do I want to help our small and mid-sized businesses and their leadership team, but ultimately I want to make associates have a much better work life. So keeping our company car maintained is what we will be digging into a bit today. So we're going to start off with just a very quick little poll that I hope you both will be able to take with me. Just take a moment and determine what you find the most challenging in your organization. Is it communication, accountability, recognition? Go ahead and take a vote, please. So throughout this workshop, and I'm going to give you the answer in just a moment, I hope to give you some simple things you can do today as a leader of people to just work on those 3 areas, some simple tips and tricks. So I hope you can see the results there. We're seeing communication, accountability. So I'm happy to see that recognition didn't make the list this time. But I think it's still something that we can all agree you can use more of anywhere you work. So going back to our 3 topics, when we look at communication, I really look like that is the engine of the car. It's going to transform your ideas into action, and it truly powers everything we do. Think about this. When was the last time an associate that you were working with misunderstood a very important directive? If you are not aware, the average small business is losing over $4,000 per associate per year due to communication breakdowns. That is a huge number. And that is something that can be totally avoided. When we think about accountability, I look at that as the steering system of the vehicle. So it helps to keep everyone aligned and moving in the right direction. If your team is consistently showing up to work on time each day and they're consistently beating their performance goals, that is a great thing. Oftentimes when I'm talking to leaders, I'm hearing that we're seeing increases in attendance issues. We're even seeing some of our top performers leaving organizations. So first off, I challenge everyone on the call to really know your turnover numbers, what those look like. And consider this, that out of the top performing organizations, 77% of them feel that everyone in their company is held accountable. For our less successful organizations, it's only 4%, 44% of leaders that say everyone within their organization is being held accountable, which that even 77% isn't great, but 44% is actually pretty alarming, because it means we're not having those tough conversations. At times, we're probably letting things fester, and then they're going to get worse. It has been reported that there are 82% of managers that feel challenged or struggle to hold people accountable or give tough feedback. So again, that is part of what we're going to be doing here today, going through some simple tips and tricks that you can do to make it just a bit more comfortable, because feedback doesn't have to be a bad thing. A lot of times it could be a very good thing. And then finally, when we look at recognition, that's really the fuel of the car. It's going to provide that energy to keep on getting that performance you need to get. So what percentage of your team in your company today would really say they feel genuinely appreciated? Did you know that companies that spend at least 1% of their payroll dollars on recognition reach their business goals 79% more often than those that spend less than that? Obviously, it has a bunch of other benefits, such as increased retention of your strong associates. You're going to have less absenteeism. People are going to be engaged and want to come to work. So when we look at our car and our diagnostics, it's clearly in our best interest to keep our car well maintained and running properly. So today's all about those quick fixes and what I want to give to you. So for communication, easiest thing you can do is establish a monthly routine. Perhaps for your team, it's something like a daily huddle that hits every shift. So if you have 3 different shifts, a 7, 3, and 11 start, perhaps you're having your huddles at 7:15, 3:15, and 11:15. And they're just very quick 10-minute sessions, starting off with recognition, going over the goal for the day, how we did the day prior, and anything we should know about as a team. You know, is there a town hall upcoming? Is there a fun event? Is there food in the break room? Whatever those things may be. And it would include other things, like on a Thursday, perhaps you have a weekly recap. Maybe it's only a 30-minute meeting with some of the essential leaders in the building. You could do building walks. You could do a company newsletter. So that communication template would really include every bit of communication you would want to provide. And as a leader, you could do it for your specific area as well. So that would be my first takeaway for you all. That's the communication piece. Keep in mind that any meetings you schedule truly should have an agenda. They should be incredibly succinct and action-oriented. If it's really just a meeting to kind of tell the news, that should be an email. Oftentimes, I have found that companies have more meetings than necessary, and we can limit that so that we can be more focused on getting the goals and the mission completed. Then when we think about accountability, the thought here is that you should have a monthly one-on-one with each and every one of your associates. I know you're in operations, that's impossible. I get it. Trust me, I have been in your shoes. Doesn't have to be anything long. Sometimes maybe it's only 5 to 10 minutes. But it's strange you're thinking that that's under my accountability task. Who have you given the most hurtful or tough feedback to? I'm probably thinking you're saying your significant other, your kids, your family, your mom, your dad. That's because you have a relationship with them. You've built time, you've built something. I'm not saying you need to have that same relationship with your associates, and I advise that you do not, but I think spending that 10 minutes a month makes those more challenging conversations less scary, more palatable for the associate, because there's already a consistency of communication happening there. And then finally, we're going to look at recognition. I will challenge each of you, even though this was not on your poll, who can you recognize this week? Is there someone you could send a thank you letter to their home? I once had a manager of mine send me a thank you letter and a book, and it's still on my desk to this day. And that was years ago. It meant a lot to me. I had another coworker who sent a letter home to their associate. And at the holiday party, 6 months later, his wife came up to her and was like, "Do you know that thank you card you sent is on our refrigerator? Like, it's kind of like the star of the show." I like to say that we as leaders are who our team is talking about at night. And like, what are they saying about you? Obviously, I think we'd all want it to be positive, but work consumes a lot of our waking hours. So it does impact work life and home life. And some of these things seem, so simple, but truly it goes a long way. So the challenge with recognition, or the tip I'm giving you for recognition, is really just one piece of personalized recognition each week. It could be to a peer, it could be to a boss, it could be to an associate. And trust me, your boss would probably be blown away if you gave them a piece of recognition, because they probably don't get it very much. And finally, for some closing and next steps, for now, just implement one technique this week. You don't need to do all three. Try just one and see how it makes you feel. If you need any other support with culture in your building or team building, please don't hesitate to reach out for additional tips or tricks. I do offer 15-minute free consultations, and I'm happy to meet with anyone. We are rolling out our 6-month leadership development program. I know it has been talked about, and it was due fall of this year, but it is going through a final review with legal, and it will be available for sale on January 1st. I think that's really all I had for you all today. Does anybody have any questions or concerns for me?